Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jennifer Gerson with MPS Credit Union, president of the Pinecrest Business Association. And today I'm joined by Vanessa Vasquez of Vasquez de Lara Law Group. Welcome, Vanessa. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you,
We
Jen.
love having you on. So, upcoming month of November is our trustee appreciation luncheon, and Vanessa is one of our trustee members. So we'd like to kick off the month with, well, it's still the end of October, but
I'll take it.
we'll take it. Things are just like moving along so fast. Like Halloween is this weekend. Like, how did that happen? And it's Vanessa's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Thank
We're
you.
October babies, me and Vanessa. So how are you celebrating this year?
So I had a great event yesterday where we did a fundraiser for the Supreme Scholars Foundation, and we got to eat chocolate and drink cocktails together. And I'm having a get together in my house tomorrow.
What's better than chocolate and cocktails?
Seriously.
Nothing.
Seriously.
So I know we'll probably get into this later as we talk, but you mentioned the Supreme Scholars Foundation, and I know what it is, but let's let everybody else know what it is.
Sure. So my little brother unfortunately was killed last year. And we wanted to make sure that we were honoring his memory, not just by talking about how he died, but by the kind of person that he was and the kind of things that he liked. So we created a scholarship fund where we are giving away scholarships. We've already given 11 scholarships away.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, and this round of fundraising, it typically, as of now, we're still small enough that it's mainly me. Um, so people that know me or my friends have really helped out this year, and we had an event at the anniversary of his death back in May, and now for his birthday and my birthday in October, and this year alone, I think we will have raised almost $10,000 or $11,000.
That's
So,
wonderful.
and we're still collecting. So feel free to
Always collecting. Collecting
yes.
never stops when we're fundraising, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah. Talking about celebrating and the holidays quickly approaching, you're a family law attorney, right? Yep. So this can become difficult times with certain situations when there's divorce in the picture.
Yep.
So how do we deal with these family law issues in the holiday times?
Well, it's really interesting, not necessarily in a good way, but it's interesting how the holidays bring out the best and the worst of us.
Yes.
So we unfortunately do very commonly see issues with holiday time sharing where one parent isn't providing the child to the other parent or is already telling them that they're not going to allow that. If there's not an open case, then it means that the person has to go back to court, whether it's for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or for any of the Jewish holidays that are all around this time of year. The only way to make sure that you have that set up is by having a court order. And if you don't have a court order, you unfortunately do need to, be contacting your judge, be contacting the courts in order to make sure that happens. We literally had a hearing this morning where we spoke with the judge about the holiday time sharing because first holiday is already in 3 weeks. Thanksgiving is 3 weeks away.
And do you know what somebody was saying the other day? They're like, buy your turkeys now. Have you heard this?
I haven't heard that.
Buy
Because of the shortage
because
of
the
stuff?
shortages. Yes.
Wow.
Again. But yeah.
Yeah. So now really is the time to start already. It might already even be, almost too late, but
that was going to be my next question. Like, if you are having issues or you foresee having issues with time sharing, is there time to get it resolved before the holidays?
So Thanksgiving is going to be tough, but it depends on your judge. It depends how quickly they're able to move through some of their cases. But with Christmas, we should be able to, to have that opportunity, things that are, later in the month in December. But, it's you definitely, the longer you wait, then it's definitely something that, that would be impossible to have it done beforehand.
So people just can't say, I want to change my custody, right? Like you need to have backup reason. Oh, you go into the details as to what they need to have. But I know people are like, well, I don't want to do it like this anymore. But it doesn't work like that, does it?
It does not. So the reality is that, when you have a schedule, that's your schedule, unless you both agree to something different. So if you are, if you have a great relationship with your ex and on paper it says that you get Christmas Eve and I get Christmas Day, but you really want to have, maybe like a week-long vacation during those holidays, it's just a matter of talking to each other. And if you work it out, it's perfect. But unfortunately, if you don't, then the agreement or the court order is the law of the land. So that is your backup and your default. And when you have a parent that unfortunately is um, difficult. Even when they tell
Less
you,
than amiable.
even when they tell you, yeah, we can do whatever you want. If there's any possibility that they're not actually going to do it the way that they're telling you want to make sure that you get that as a court order.
Yeah.
So if there's an agreement, that this year we're going to swap, we're going to do something a little bit different. When it's an agreement, it's very easy to get it court ratified, and that's really what we recommend when there's any potential possibility, because unfortunately we do have to think of worst case, not best
Right.
case.
And unfortunately, in these situations, even, when you're on the best of terms, it's just so much better to have it in an order, because sometimes people talk the talk and they don't walk the walk, or
Yep.
vice versa. And
Yep.
it's better for your relationship. It's better for the children just to have it spelled out. And
Yep.
um,
Absolutely. I mean, that is the ideal. Unfortunately, our clients are sometimes thinking, no, but we're getting along. Things are great. And I'm like, things are great today. They're not great tomorrow.
yes, right. Right. That's why kind of why some people are divorced, right? So, is there anything that can change beyond time sharing with agreements after a divorce?
So pretty much, it really depends on what is it and what's the reason. So to get a modification of your court order, or to get a modification of the agreement that you entered into at some point, there have to be, substantial change in circumstances that couldn't be foreseen. And that sort of varies a little bit on some of the different issues and on what qualifies. There's not like a bright line list that I can give you and say, okay, if you're in this checklist, then you're entitled to modify. But if you're not in this checklist, you're not. There's a lot of factors that sort of work together.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely anything actually can change, from your parental responsibility, which is how you make decisions for your kids, to the time sharing schedule, to holiday time sharings, to child support. That's our biggest one, because
Yeah.
people's incomes change.
Yep.
So pretty much all the terms related to the kids are something that, depending on the circumstances, that they can be modified.
So your firm really works on a lot more than just the divorce.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, we work on divorce cases, we work on paternity cases, which is when parents are unmarried but need to work out all the details of of
Parenting.
living, parenting,
Yes.
and what we call post judgment modifications, which are going back to court and changing the court orders or changing the agreements, and a few of the other things that sort of kind of come around family law, like prenuptial agreements, post-nuptial agreements, domestic violence, some of the sort of like smaller issues that surround those bigger.
So domestic, you just that peaks in
Mhm.
domestic violence falls under family law.
Yeah, so the whenever typically it's rare for us to have a domestic violence case where it's not people that were in a relationship, and oftentimes it involves people in a relationship with children. So what normally ends up happening when there's an incident of domestic violence is when the person's finally call the police officers, because we do know that there's a lot of instances where nobody where no calls are made,
Right.
but
Probably
once,
more than not, I would
exactly,
imagine.
exactly. But once the person is ready to to go forward, then the police will be called, and there will be a domestic violence injunction that is being sought. When there's a family case alongside, well, that domestic violence case will actually go to your divorce or your paternity judge.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, something that we do see very frequently as well is where one side is maybe trying to get an advantage, and they will file a false allegation of domestic violence in order to sort of look like the good person, make the other person look bad.
Uh-huh.
And if the allegations are serious enough, the court will actually enter a temporary injunction, allowing the person who filed to live in the home, for the other person to have to be immediately out of the home.
Removed.
No time sharing with the children. So you're talking about that somebody says he punched me in the face, and the judge says, okay, well, we need to have a hearing on this. This is pretty serious. They will enter that temporary injunction, and they will restrict any access to the children, to the home, and to the person who's making the allegation. So when those allegations are fake, that's a huge problem, unfortunately.
What are the repercussions if you file fake? I mean, that's terrible.
So when there's a family case, what happens is that now your family judge knows you're a liar,
Mm-hmm.
and that can definitely have repercussions, within
Going
your
forward.
family
Yeah.
case. But unfortunately, if there is no family case, or if the allegations were just couldn't be proven. I mean, it causes a lot of issues. So, it is something that becomes problematic, but there aren't real, it becomes a very much he said, she said.
Yeah.
So it's for many things, it's hard to prove, did it happen or did it not? So the laws are designed in a way where we don't want to punish people for coming forward.
Of course.
So you can't seek attorney's fees. You can't seek a lot of real repercussions, because that could create a chilling effect on the people who are actually enduring domestic violence. So the system is what we have. It's the best of what we have.
we make the best out of what we have to work with, right?
Exactly.
So are there any family issues that your firm does not deal with?
So we don't handle adoptions. And what I mean, and so we do step parent adoptions when a child has a step parent that wants to take over that parental role.
Mm-hmm.
But adoptions that are from a baby, somebody's giving up a newborn or anything like that, where you are not related to the mom or not related to the baby, the more common adoptions, foster care adoptions, things like that, we're not involved in those. Those are very specialized, and the adoption attorneys that handle those are, very well trained in dealing with all of the potential issues, because you're really talking about terminating somebody's parental rights,
Right.
and big repercussions if things go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So those we don't handle.
It seems it's very specialized.
It is very specialized, and we have some great attorneys that do. So whenever we're contacted about those, we've got great referrals.
Fantastic. So last time I think we were sitting here, we had glass between us, right? Thank God the COVID numbers are going down, and we can reach out and touch someone again. And the people are getting vaccinated, and we're all getting back to normal. We're going to luncheons, and we're sitting next to each other, and we're having conversations.
Yeah.
But I know everything has changed, right? And I'm sure things have changed with going to court and within the practice. So what are some changes you've made in your practice that you think are going to stay going forward?
So we are still doing court via Zoom, and almost every family lawyer I know loves it. There's very few court hearings where you're kind of like, no, I want to be in a table and I want the judge in front of me. For the most part, Zoom hearings are really good for our clients, because now I'm not charging to drive to the court. Now I'm not charging to drive back from the court. So it's a lot more cost effective for the clients. There's a lot of hearings that are short 5-10 minute hearings, and I would have to charge my clients not only for the drive, but for sitting around court waiting for my case to be called. Because when you do things like motion calendar case managements, they're very short hearings, but they schedule a lot of them kind of like in a block.
Right.
So whenever we had to go down for those, you kind of got to wait your turn. So it could be an hour, 90 minutes where I'm just sort of sitting in the courthouse waiting my turn. And I have to charge the clients for that because I'm having to sit around. Now, when I'm in my office, I am in a Zoom. So I'm just working on whatever else. And I can literally charge the client for the 5, 10, 15 minutes that my actual hearing, takes up of my time.
Instead of the 3 to 4 hour billing time of driving and waiting and sitting. And
so I think that every family lawyer feels that they're so much more efficient than we used to be able to be, because now court is incorporated into our day, instead of court being, something that you really have to block out multiple hours. So with respect to access to justice and being able to have access to the courthouse for people, even for the parties themselves, you used to have to take off. You have a 1 hour hearing, you'd have to take a whole morning off in order to be, be traffic, get to court and get back to work. Now, a lot of those people are Zooming from their car, in the parking lot of their office. That way they don't need to, go home or spend hours, taking care of it. They might be Zooming from home if they're, work from home, but it becomes such a efficient system. It's not perfect. Absolutely. There's definitely concerns about whether a witness is being coached, or whether a witness, whether there's other people in the room with them, or even whether the children can hear it.
Yes.
When maybe it's after school or the children are homeschooling. But of all the things that, COVID took from us, being able to do Zoom court is something that we definitely appreciate.
COVID did take a lot from us, right? But I do think the one positive thing, if you want to pick one positive thing that came out of COVID, is efficiency.
Yeah.
I mean, we have become a much more efficient society, especially with meetings or hearings or things that you had to sit and fight traffic for, and then sit and wait. And I mean, to just jump on a call and then be done and click off and,
Yep.
shut your camera off for a minute if you have to take another phone call or take a bite of your food or whatever it is. It's made us, I think, a much more efficient society.
Yeah.
And, luckily some businesses like yourself have been able to pivot and thrive during COVID.
Yeah.
And so tell us some of the great things that have been happening at Vasquez, Lara. I know you've moved to like a new office space, right?
So we expanded. We now sublease to a few other attorneys, and we've continued to grow, and it's great because we have easy referrals to other attorneys that do things that I don't do. We've got a real estate and probate attorney in our office. We've got a personal injury attorney. We've got another family lawyer. We used to have a therapist, but she decided that she can continue doing telehealth. But it's great because we have resources for our clients right there in the office. So that's really convenient. We helped to sponsor, the chocolate tasting yesterday with the Supreme Scholars Foundation. We are still doing monthly lunch and learns, virtual and or live. And our last one was actually last week, and we had some really great interactions. It's one of those things where COVID helped us to realize things that we didn't even know we wanted, and now we have them.
Yes.
And being able to have speakers that are not local, being able to have attorneys tuning into our lunch and learns that aren't local, has really been a fantastic way of sort of being more connected with.
It's expanded the depth and breadth of a lot of things.
It really has. And so our lunch and learns are still continuing, whether virtual or live. When we have them live, it's great because we get to see people. But we've kind of been able to continue making those happen. So we are constantly scheduling get-togethers because
you guys are amazing at that. You are fantastic at it. I always see all your events. Well, we're cut from the same cloth, right? That's what we do. But yeah, you guys are doing a fantastic job at that.
Yeah, thank you.
And interesting things to make people want to come to the events, not just come listen to this speaker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are doing fantastic things.
Thank you.
You've been so busy, right? So what are you doing for fun lately?
Well, I'm back to traveling.
Thank God for traveling is back. I know Karen Krugliak is very happy that travel is back.
I've got Karen helped me book a Greece cruise that we had to unfortunately move. It was supposed to be this summer, but we are now scheduled for next summer, and I'm super excited about that. We're we're doing a Greece cruise and traveling around Europe. I just came back from a conference in Seattle last weekend, so I got to have some delicious seafood. And definitely a change in the weather.
Yes, yeah.
Because it was not 80 degrees in Seattle.
No, it very, very rarely is, right?
Exactly. We're making plans for our Thanksgiving. We have family coming in from Texas, so we're gonna do. We're not quite sure, but something in Florida. And I'm taking my whole staff to Disney.
You are. Well, that's an awesome staff retreat, right?
I'm
Magical.
Such a Disney holic. Everybody that knows me knows I'm such a big Disney proponent. But yeah, we have an amazing staff, and we are doing a Disney trip, and we've got matching
the shirts. You have the shirts. You'll have the ears. You'll have your ears.
And we've got ears. We're gonna take some pictures out there.
Fun.
Yeah, we're leaving next week, and we're gonna be there for 3 days. We're doing 3 parts.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
We're really excited. So I feel like building your company's culture is so important to making sure, especially in this climate where people are always complaining about I can't find employees. I can't keep employees. So it's really one of those things that I feel that so strongly about making sure that our culture is one where everybody wants to be there. Everybody's doing, putting their best foot forward. And that means your boss has to be putting their best foot forward as well. Yes. So, one of our core values of our firm is family. So,
I was just about to say that.
That's my favorite thing to do is take my family to the park. So bringing them all with me.
The Law Group family is going on a magical vacation. It's fantastic. That's so fun. I can't wait to see the pictures on social.
Thank you.
So how else are you involved in the community?
So, I'm on the board of the Pinecrest Business Association. So, I love making sure that, that we're connected to our community and seeing how how we can do things. I am also on the board of the Dominican American Bar Association, and that's a great organization because it's trying to, pull in Dominicans or help show others our culture, others in the legal field. I'm also on the board of the Coral Gables Bar Association, and that's such a fantastic organization with so many connections to the community, and they've been around for so long that it's really great to see their footprint and how they've been continuing to to improve the legal sphere. We also have a scholarship fund through the Coral Gables Bar Association. So that kind of keeps coming up, and all the stuff that that I'm involved in. And this year I'm also on the committee for the Dade County Bar for solo and small firms. So the stuff I've been doing kind of on my own with my lunch and learns and helping people to know how to run their firms. Now I'm helping on a larger scale.
Expanding. Yes, that's wonderful.
With the Dade County Bar.
Wonderful. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So if someone needs to get in touch with you, how do they find you?
Where can you not find me? So we've got our office, which is right here in Dadeland, in the Greenery Mall building. So we can be reached there in person. I can be reached at our firm phone number, which is, I'm sure I'll post it on this video later, but it's 305-596-9951. I can be reached by email at Vanessa@Family Law Protection. But I would encourage you to check out our social media. Check out our Facebook at Vasquez de Lara Law Group. We've got an Instagram. We've got LinkedIn. We've got TikTok. We've got the best TikTok videos.
They are definitely everywhere. They are. You do a great job with all of that. You really do. Thank you for joining me today. Let's talk a second about the Pinecrest Business Association, because we just came off having an amazing celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Village of Pinecrest. Was it last week?
Yeah.
It feels, I kind of put that to bed afterwards. But the probably most successful event that we've had since a very long time.
So much food, so much delicious food.
We had such great food. We had such great participation. The mayors knocked it out of the park with the way they talked about the village. It was like going down memory road.
And how cool is it when Evelyn Greer is like, I'm Evelyn Greer. This is my park.
Yes. It was like the best quote of the day, right? But it was such, they made it so easy on me to host the event. Yeah. And I felt like I just got to take a back seat and they let it ride. And having the original founders of the PBA, Grant Miller, Don Harris, and Mitch Panter there, and they all spoke. It was such a great event. And
I think so.
So well attended. No, good job to our board. It takes a village to make things happen, right? And next month, November 16th, we're having our trustee appreciation luncheon. We're going back to Anna Capri, where we all know the food is delicious, yummy. And we leave with a nice full tummy. So go on pinecrestbusiness.com and reserve your seat for that. It is going to be limited. We only have so many seats in the restaurant. So reserve your seat for that. November 16th, all of our trustees will be there, and everybody will have a chance to get to know our trustees better. They'll each have some time to speak and to be recognized. And then we have our holiday party that we're doing in conjunction with the Palmetto Bay Business Association, where we are going to get on the dance floor because it's at Fred Astaire Dance Studio.
Yep.
So save the date for that. It's December 2nd. It's a Thursday night from 6 to 9. Thank you again to the Miller Brothers and Community Newspapers for hosting us. You guys are amazing, Michael and Grant. And we'll see you next week. Everybody enjoy your week. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.